Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one and only Pac-Man here, and I'm Ray the Flying Squirrel here, and I'm Mighty the Armadillo here. We are back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, as always. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of The Simpsons Hit and Run for the Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC. So, last time, it looks like that we just somehow got started with level 4 by able to actually not only find the usual stuff, but also just trying to able to complete several of those story missions. Despite we did somehow fail the first mission for that one particular attempt, and that's only mainly because of the distance and all that jazz. So today, for this video, is the fact that we are able to continue things on in level 4.
Excuse me, Handsome old man. Can you help me?
Shh. I'm hiding from the police. If the police find me out past curfew, they'll throw me in jail. I won't survive another night in jail.
Well, I was wondering if you've ever seen a crop circle.
Talk to Abe. He mentioned crop circles once. Hurry up and get to the home before the police lock the doors.
Okay, so to begin with, let's move on to the next mission in level 4. And that is, of course, we need to race against with Chief Wagon before we need able to get to the retirement castle. So, and from here, I think this is where we're able to actually meet up with Grandpa and stuff like that. So, oh jeez, a lot of traffic around here, but hopefully we can take a nice little shortcut right there. Oh yeah, every once in a while though is the fact that certain computer AI really loves to able to now try to deal with shortcuts every once in a while. So, because yeah, believe me, if we get into the later progressioning of this particular Let's Play itself, then eventually the AI might start to get a little bit more aggressive this time. So, oh my god, I'm really truly sorry, Grandpa, for able to run into you, but you're still alive regardless. So, yeah, let's have a look at the level progression here. So we've got up to 52% done, so we're literally getting close.
Grandpa, do you know anything about crop circles?
What? Huh? I can't tell you about crop circles right now. Those lousy renegades stole my pills. Without my ag-relief, I'll start fighting nurses. You don't need the lawsuit. You darn rickets and crop circles and praying ag-relief.
Oh dear.
And we'll move on to the next mission as well, such as Wolves Stole My Pills. So in this case, we need to, I would say, talk to Nilsson. So in this case though, that might be seems the case. So let's just get into the vehicle as far as I can usually take control of this though. And you've only got about 30 seconds in order to do this. So, in order to able to make your way to the actual school playground. So yeah, not much else to say apart from the fact that today's day is of course the 18th of May today, in this case in 2022 today. So obviously the new Mario Kart Tour event has now been happening, which is in this case Peach vs Bowser. But even then, we would like to able to discuss more details about that and during maybe until tomorrow. So anyway, so let's just go ahead and get the wrench just in case for repair damages.
How could you hooligans steal an old man's medication? You give it back right now.
Oh, we traded it to some dudes in a black car for these play dudes. Check it out, man. This one's got an interview with the guy who invented the wah-wah pedal.
And we need to head back into the vehicle again. So, in this case though, we can able to actually just to go ahead and search for the black sedan around the school. So in this case though, it might be not too far from here, I don't think. And from here, we need to collect the forms of that specific collectibles. So, yeah, and once again, just like in forms of how it does it on that particular previous mission that we've already done. So in this case though, not much right home about, except now that the AI, when it comes to the forms of that particular car sometimes, just now decides able to go into a U-turn. So in this case though, this is where things gets a bit difficult at this point in time, especially noticeable how sometimes though is the fact that certain items can drop, you know, in random spots. So there were a few times though that you might able to get ticked off when it comes to forms of anything else to be more specifically, as you're probably already aware, at least in every sense during the course of well, everything else for the most part. So, alright, so we just need to carefully try to drive around and screw you, that stupid little car that just really loves to get in my way. But hopefully you've got enough time, especially noticeable that the green bar gauge is still filling up. So at the very least, you don't need to worry about this for the sake of time. So, at the very least, that's so much potentials! No! God damn it. I got screwed so madly. But, you got to able to go for this entire, 30-second trial again, so because of this time, I honestly have no idea where I'm going. Well, because mind you, it has been about a couple of hours since we actually last played this, so... And also, we just felt a little bit of a struggle at the moment when it comes to doing commentaries alike, because, good lord, we are entirely thirsty today. Yeah, that's only mainly because that the weather itself at the moment is actually super hot. So in this case though, we're gonna have to able to do with a lot of drinking water at this point. So because it's pretty obvious, because as you already know, summer's almost approaching. So in this case though, we can able to potentially try to get the idea of how this is gonna turn out. So anyways, let's talk to Nelson again and skip that sequence because you already hear the dialogue. So yeah, a few things we want to explain for this point today, and that is the fact that, well, you remember when we mentioned this earlier about the fact that obviously Mario Kart Tour got a new tour on live at the moment, which is of course Peach versus Bowser, but ultimately we choose Team Bowser just in case if the forms of the coin block item will come into play. And on top of all that stuff though, that we really hoping we're not going to be able to get screwed over again, unlike the previous Team Rally racing tours in the past. So, although mind you, we've already did two of them so far out of let's just say 6 or something like that. But relatively speaking, I think this is far from the case, I guess. So another thing is worth noting for is the fact that we actually got ourselves a new game that's been recently confirmed for English localization, and I think also applies in the Japanese version as well, and I think I might as well lose again, aren't I? Ah, darn it, I hate kinds of missions, because if you dare miss the items, the gauge will somehow deplete it, so... Oh jeez, this might take a while, especially noticeable because... Well, again, I was expecting if I was trying to able to be super careful with all that driving and all that stuff. But, you know, every once in a while is the fact that the actual, the artificial intelligence for certain, you know, cars and all that jazz can sometimes manage to throw you off a bit. So, alright, so let's do this again, except this might be the 4th attempt, and hopefully I should succeed by then. So, yeah, anyway, let's just skip that dialogue. Excuse me, skip that dialogue again, and hopefully you're trying to able to do this godforsaking segment again, and hopefully you're trying to succeed. So, best of luck, really, because you're gonna need it. Alright, so let's just try again. So, anywho, apart from the fact that, well, relatively speaking, we actually got, you know, as far as what Pac-Man has already mentioned about, is the fact that we're actually getting ourselves a new Nintendo Switch game doing at some point at the end of June. So in this case, it will have to be a new Rabbids game. Mind you, it was expecting Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope for its new release date and all that, but it turns out it was actually a party game that's usually back in the day, I think that was in 2019 for I've managed to do a massive research on it, that apparently though, that the new Rabbids game was originally going to be a Chinese exclusive, to be more specifically with that Rabbids party game, but it turns out that it might actually going to be released in journey forms of everywhere else. Like, I believe including Japan as well. Mind you, I haven't exactly looked upon it that much though, but apart from those side of things though, it's actually going to be coming to the forms of the English localization. So yeah, that seems interesting. Yeah, especially noticeable, it's like, well, I first thought that Chinese was able to actually get the game first, but then later on, during the course of this year, we were able to actually get the English localization version of the game. So, although we'll talk more details about that until whenever we drive all the way back to the retirement castle, so because obviously we've now got all the pills and all that jazz, so hopefully we can able to actually rescue Grandpa, just in case if we... Oh god! We need to get away from that particular black Seedon right there before anything else will be messed up, including the hidden run sequence. So, but thankfully we can able to use the shortcut. So in this case, though, we did somehow manage to pull this off. So, nicely done on your part, especially that, well, you somehow made it. And now we need to give Grandpa the actual medicine, so...
Here's your crazy medicine, Grandpa.
Hot diggity! Sweet, sweet medication! Gimme, gimme, gimme!
Oh, great. Now I need something to wake him up.
So, of course, if you think this is done, well, turns out that there's actually another mission we can do. So in this case, though, let's go to Quickie Mart. So in this case, we need to actually enter into Quickie Mart, so we can able to actually interact with all kinds of stuff, ranging from, let's just say, more level gags, and especially noticeable, we need to able to equip something. So in this case, though, let's go and get the coffin right here. So at the very least, we can now return back into the retirement castle, but before we do that, let's go and mess around with the level gags before we continue things on here. So, of course, the alarm system is still active, along with the forms of the actual the machine and all that jazz. And let's not forget ourselves with the forms of in that particular one of the characters just somehow managed to able to get stuck in this refrigerator. So that's sure it's something, I guess. And unfortunately, I can't check my level progress yet, because obviously I still need to complete the entire mission first, so... Yeah, that maybe seems very understandable, but at the very least you're able to make your way there. And now we need to give Grandpa the actual, the caffeine and stuff like that, so there you go.
Maybe these will jog your memory.
Huh? What?
For the last freaking time, tell me about the crop circles.
There I was surrounded by Tojo and his Nazi henchmen, when one of them, a raccoon as I recall, hits me with a banjo. Now, I never reasoned with a raccoon, let alone a Nazi one, so
Grandpa, what does this have to do with the crop circle?
Not a thing! Where was I? Right, now, the first time I rode in a water car... Okay. It was so long ago that I'll have to describe it in sepia tone. Well, as I recall, it was sort of a cosmic kind of thing, shaped kind of like a planet with an old-fashioned radio antenna coming off it.
A planet with an antenna? That sounds awfully familiar. I think it was at the Quickie Mart. That's it. It was on a bottle of pop. Maybe that will jog Bart's memory.
This could be resolved a mystery right there. So in this case though, somehow we've managed to complete this mission, so now we need to head back into the Simpsons house, and then I think we're most able to talk to Bart Simpson again, so hopefully we can able to actually tackle through, I would classify for saying, the next mission, at least as far as I can recall correctly. Mind you, we haven't paid attention to the actual, the mission gauge and all that stuff. I think, truth be told, I think it might actually be, well, we are now on the 6th mission, so, yeah, at the very least, that's, we are getting very close, so as you can tell, we got 58.1% done of the game, so, that's sure it's something, I guess. And, yeah, we can able to actually just go into Bart's bedroom, because, well, it's pretty obvious that, we can now able to actually entering, you know, Bart's bedroom, just in case we can able to meet up with Bart Simpson, so, yeah, because technically we've already been in there before, but, ultimately we've able to actually brought some costumes, so, speaking of costumes though, we'll go ahead and switch over to a different costume, but, yeah, we'll just do that quickly. Yeah, so that way we can become the police cop. Yeah, makes it a little bit satisfying whenever you wear it, so yeah, let's begin, shall we?
Bart, do you recognize this design?
That's the alien mind control cola. They gave us tons of that up in the alien spaceship. They're using it to make the town go crazy.
Oh, thank God, you snapped out of your trance. I was so worried.
Later, I'm going to the arcade.
This conspiracy goes all the way to the top. I need a little extra firepower. As Officer Marge.
Well, because you're already a police officer, so let's take a look in here. And the next mission we have is the Color Wars. So basically, it's all about the collectathon. And by all mean by that, they all spread all over the place. So we have to collect them all before the time runs out. So, this is kind of a fun one, because it almost kind of reminds me like a Banjo-Kazooie vibe, except the fact that, well, relatively speaking, that we got to collect specifically all 30 of these things. So, yeah, it's relatively easy for the most part, especially noticeable they always ended up in the forms of the not so far away places here and there, but there was that one in particular mission coming up that might actually be considerably the most difficult one. Oh yeah, I truly know what you mean, but we'll be able to talk more details about that during at some point until next week, and by the end of the forms of, well, you probably know what to expect. So, anywho, so another thing we'd like to point things out is the fact that, honestly guys, well, apart from the fact that, well, relatively speaking, about the fact that we actually got ourselves a new details, and I do apologize if my capture cards gets all glitched out all of a sudden, because I honestly have no idea why it keeps on glitching out. Well, I think it's pretty obvious of why. It's because unfortunately our computer starts lagging again. No, yeah, that wasn't actually all that surprising there, because despite the fact that we actually been very busy recently for all of the recording sessions and all the other jazz, just to able to catch up slightly, so I guess that's totally obvious there. Oh yeah, something's worth mentioning is the fact that, well, and particularly on the films of this coming Friday, that's obviously the new film that's going to be exclusive to Disney Plus, called Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, live-action / animated hybrid movie, will be releasing during this Friday. So, not exactly sure what the review scores is going to be like. I'm hoping it's going to be quite good, actually. Well, mind you, it might seems weird at first whenever I first saw it for the actual trailer back then, but I'm honestly very excited about this, especially noticeable. It kind of reminds me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, except the fact that, well, it's going to be on Modern World and all that jazz. Especially noticeable that I cannot even believe they actually got a Mario costume reference out there. Especially it's, you know, despite the fact that Mario was a Nintendo character, of course, so in this case though, that seems very odd and peculiar at the same time. So, anyway, so mission complete, no need to talk to anyone else, you're just gonna have to able to fetch all 30 of those color soda bottles and all that stuff, and then that's all you have to do. So I believe we are now moved on to the final story mission, so in this case we need to head back into Corky Mart, so just in case we can able to actually guarantee that we will wrap things up every single missions for the sake of the forms of, well, level 4, before we move on to level 5. So, but of course, before you hit on to level 5 though, we need to take care of something else, so, because obviously we need to aim for the 100% completion on, you know, in every single levels in the game, so, to be expected at this point, So, we'll just interact with this arcade machine again, despite it's all stuttering and everything, but that's okay, still barely works. Yeah, so we don't need to worry about the forms of, you know, the game disc cannot be read, or an error has occurred kind of message all over the place, but, yeah, let's just have a look at the progression there. 60.7, so only one more level gag left, though, which seems to be around here somewhere, though. It's definitely not these, obviously, because you can able to interact them all the time.
I think you should be aware that you're selling a tainted cola. Where's this stuff coming from?
Oh, there is little here not tainted in some way. Even the astrology scrolls give poor advice. But I will get to the bottom of this.
Well, it made Bart go crazy. And if I find the distributor, I'm gonna give them a piece of my mind.
Careful, Mrs. Simpson. This cola makes people do irrational things without guilt. It is as though they have bottled the effects of a raging frat kegger.
That's it. I'm going after it. And any other evil cola trucks I can find.
Alright, so here we go, from outer space. So, yeah, we must destroy all of those cola delivery trucks before time runs out. So, I'm guessing it's kind of like the similar thing as the forms of in the last story mission in level 2. Except the biggest difference this time is the fact that it does manage to take place in a, well, a different environment. And on top of all that stuff though, it's just that, well, we need to destroy trucks as opposed to specific cars. So, anyways, let's go ahead and use this so we can able to actually just get our toughness involved. And we'll get the mission started. So there's not much to write home about. You're just gonna have to destroy the actual, the cola trucks before time runs out, as to be expected. So, nothing, specific than that. So, oh yeah, with the forms of that, the Rabbit's Party game that you mentioned, Pac-Man, that particular game is actually gonna be called, in the English version anyway, Rabbit's Party of Legend for, not only for the Nintendo Switch, but it's also coming to other platforms as well, I guess. To be more specifically, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and maybe PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, despite the fact that we haven't exactly looked upon that much, you know, the info description of the game. That's only mainly because, well, at this point in time, we actually felt a bit slightly sweaty and hot today. Well, it seems very obvious because the actual weather itself is actually super damn hot. But, you know, relatively speaking, we'll hopefully try to able to fetch the fan on once we're done with this recording session. So hopefully we can able to potentially try to able to make ourselves cool and all that jazz. But, relatively speaking, I think that might be seems the case when it comes to, you know, the actual methods when it comes to, like, you know, done with recordings and all that jazz. But, you totally get the idea about that, so... Alright, there goes one of those vans, and now we need to head over to Mr. Burns' mansion, so... am I going the right way? Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Because, obviously you're trying to go after the, not only the collector card, but also the, I would say the last wasp camera you're about to go after. Oh yeah, I think I totally get the idea what you're about to be pointing out, so... Again, we do apologize if our commentary gets a little bit drabbed, because I think it's probably because, well, the weather itself is so hot, so as a result, though, we can able to expect what this is going, so... There we go, all the wasp cameras has been destroyed in level 4. So, potentially speaking, I believe, fundamentally speaking, that we are now onto the halfway point, and there's Homer Bowling Ball. Interesting. So, yeah, potentially speaking, as far as what Ray has already mentioned, that we gently now onto the halfway point in terms of the Simpsons Hit and Run game. Yeah, it seems very obvious, right? Because obviously we're onto the halfway point in terms of the forms of level 4, and then exponentially we'll move on to level 5, if potentially so. And hopefully we'll be able to actually get certain levels during time to able to complete and all that stuff. So yeah, that totally suggests that. So, and I think I've actually got enough coins to able to actually just try to able to, well, I honestly have no words to able to actually think about it because I just need to focus right now. So yeah, we'll let you focus on this because obviously you really want to able to complete those missions like so fast and quick until they've realized about the fact that sometimes that, you know, oh dang, that was actually really good hit at first from the front. Although, relatively speaking, it's the fact that, well, you're just gonna have to able to be very careful not to, you know, crash into things because the more you crash though, then the more the condition on your car, depending on what vehicles you're going to be riding onto, sometimes it might act able to actually just to not only get some smoke effects, but also it will lose a lot of coins if you manage to able to get your vehicle on fire. So, oh, darn it all. I was hopefully trying to able to make it there. I mean, what is this like, Tom and Jerry kind of syndrome, where Tom almost catches Jerry when Jerry just somehow made it to the hole in time? Wow, I have no idea why you bring up that reference there, Ray. Oh, sorry, because I keep thinking of something else. Alright, so let's hopefully I'll try to able to... Oh, darn it! He just managed to dodge as soon as I... Okay, there we go. Huh, that was a close one. Okay, so now we need to do it the last... I would say this is the last van we need to destroy. So hopefully, once we're done with that, then I'm pretty sure that level 4 will be completed by then. So, despite the fact that you still need to able to do a lot of chores in level 4 potentially. So, and I just realized about something is the fact that we actually see that there's actually that little a picture of Bart Simpson onto that particular you know, the harvest kind of thing. It's actually interesting. So, anyway, let's just go ahead and wait for a little bit until he gets closer. Okay, I think that deals some bit of damage there, but not that significant. But, yeah, he's gonna have to keep on trying, especially noticeable because every once in a while, that the actual damaging the vehicle types of missions might actually get not only drag on, but also it might actually get a little bit more aggressively tough these days. So, yeah, especially noticeable because we're on level 4, in this case the halfway point of the whole entire game so far. I think you might try to able to grab the red power-up, which you somehow missed. But hopefully I'll try to get one exponentially. Yeah, I got to admit it though right away, is that this particular car, that particular familiar car we're using right now, it's not that perfect though, I must admit. Because there were a few times though that you might easily just manage to able to like tumble over, which it does kind of reminds me of the forms of the buggy vehicle from Sonic 06, where you play as Shadow, and then basically that's the buggy might able to actually decide to tip over if you don't drive carefully. So, oh come on, he's almost down. Just only about. Oh, nice. Whew. That was a close one because you almost get a time over, assuming if you only got about 12 seconds left. But regardless, you somehow managed to pull this off nicely. Alright, so, oh dear lord, we need to able to get away from Chief Wagon. But hopefully you're trying to trying to get away with him by, well, is he going to use a shortcut? I don't think so. But regardless of such, we got away, so that's good. And now we need to make our way back to the forms of that particular The Simpsons house, and, well, suffice to say, assuming if Pac-Man were able to use that shortcut, and there he goes. Mission complete. And after that, the level itself ends off like that. So, yeah, kind of weird, but hey, at least it's something, I guess. So let's have a look at the status, shall we? So far, we're still missing one bonus mission and still need to do street races, and I've only got one collector card left and 3 more vehicles to buy and 1 more level gag. So you got 64.9% done with level 4. So not too shabby right there. So yeah, I guess suffice to say, we'll pretty much get the endings off here, I'm afraid, guys. So join us next time for more Let's Play of The Simpsons Hit and Run. It's the fact that we'll be able to actually go back on to level 4 to continue things on, and hopefully we'll try to able to 100% through everything in terms of level 4 itself. Yeah, that'll be interesting. So we'll see you guys until tomorrow. Later, fellas. See you guys then.